I think we're good to go, aren't we? We're recording, right, Jerry?
We are.
Can you state the legal disclaimer about recording?
I did not rehearse that, no.
Oh, you didn't? We're only doing rehearsed stuff. So here we go. Let me start reading from the prompter. Welcome to the Ekahau. Anyway, thank you everybody for joining. Welcome to the Ekahau webinar. I think we have a pretty good crowd today. We're approaching record numbers here. We're on the dot and we're ready to go. So today we're going to be talking about an Ekahau product update. We have a lot of cool folks on the line as well. And yeah, we've gotten feedback that get to the point more quickly in these webinars. So we'll get right to it. And the point is these guys right there. No. So today, most of the demos talking will be us here. Hey, Jerry, Joel, how are you guys? You ready to rock?
Totally ready to go.
All right, guys, let's hit it. Follow us on Twitter, meet us in person, all that fun stuff. And also the biggest shout out to the Ekahau R&D and product management teams for putting this thing that we're about to see today together, and also to our beta testers. We had like 300 beta testers for the product line, so thank you so much for being on board. Okay, so just so that you don't watch just the first 2 minutes, but you stay on, it's going to be a lot of cool stuff today, and it's not just going to be updates to Ekahau Pro and Ekahau Sidekick. It's also going to be blurred stuff. So stay tuned with us. It's going to be a good one. Right? Jump right to it, right? So we have this product called Ekahau Survey Pro, and we've had it for like 15 years. So the biggest revelation you will find out today is this. And now if only I had the fanfare on my phone, I would play it. So essentially, Ekahau Survey Pro will now be called Ekahau Pro. However, it still continues to be our flagship product for 3D planning, site surveys, analysis, as well as reporting. So much of the things that you're used to seeing in the product will remain as it is. Windows and Mac OS, the familiar platforms, will continue to be supported. It will just be called, again, Ekahau Pro instead of Ekahau Site Survey, and we're upping the version number from 9.2 into 6. And one of the big deals of the Pro is the user interface overhaul. So we worked really long and hard, and some hundreds of thousands of code changes later, 100,000 or so lines of code changed. And then, it turns out the product became like a lot faster, a lot more fun to use. You wouldn't think of this, but what do you guys think, Jerry, Joel, the basic things like map operations and things like that, when you now look back on 9.2.6 and version 10, how is your feeling about the whole thing?
I'm going to let Jerry go first because I think he's got some good insight here.
Oh, have you tried it, Jerry?
I have tried it. Yeah, actually, I've been going along the journey with a lot of our beta testers. I'm sure they can speak to this even better than I can, but through the beta test journey, it's been actually gotten to the point probably months ago really, where there was a shift of especially running it on a Mac, and if I had to switch from the beta version to our production version, it was actually almost a painful experience because I noticed the drastic performance difference that you didn't realize until you use the Ekahau Pro tool, and just the faster responsiveness of the UI and less memory. It uses less CPU. It's just, yeah, it's one of those things that's hard to really explain in text until you really try it and feel it for yourself.
I have nothing additional to add to what Jerry said, so I'll just echo it. The performance is it's a lot better. Going back to ESS 9, I didn't realize the difference either until I would go back and use it and be like, oh wow, there really is a big difference. So it's way smoother, it's way faster, which just makes it a lot more fun to use. Even more fun if you can imagine Ekahau Site Survey being more fun for.
Exactly. It's actually based on the map operations, like zooming and panning and all those. And when they repeat like 1,000 of 10,000 times per day as you use the product, the more you use it, the more you have difficulty turning back to the old version. So essentially, in a software product, a lot of the code is user interface, and in here, all of the user interface code in ESS has been completely rewritten. However, that doesn't mean that there's a new learning curve to the product. It's actually familiar feel. So we kept most of the things in the same places. Most of the functionality is pretty much identical. It just, feels like coming home, but just to a, hugely renovated, upgraded home.
And UC, I don't remember if you're going to talk about this or not, but for anyone that has current support and maintenance for Ekahau Site Survey 9, UC, how much does this cost them to get Ekahau Pro 10?
So because we changed the name, we thought that we could charge like $1,000 extra just for, for the subtracted 2 words, right?
So $1,000. So it's just $1,000. No big deal.
Yeah. Who cares? Yeah. Or is it? I think Jerry has a better insight in this as well.
No, I have no more insights.
So it's actually free. So if you have Ekahau support and maintenance, it's totally free of charge.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty awesome update. And it's not just that. It's also, we heard about this standard 2 weeks ago that's coming up, which is called Wi-Fi 6. And, we thought that, why not create support for that? So ESS, Ekahau Pro 10 now completely supports Wi-Fi 6 or 802.11ax. So it's planning with the currently available AX access points from Cisco, Aruba, Aerohide, you name it. And it's also site surveys. So if you survey using a Sidekick, you're good to go. It will pick up the AX APs, it will show the data rates, the channel widths, whatever information is needed. And also for real-time analysis, like real-time frequency monitor, totally there. So this is pretty awesome. And also just a part of the regular Ekahau Pro 10 upgrade. And then what do you guys think of this? The interference classification.
That spectrum analysis is very near and dear to my heart. So the interference classification is super cool. I'm very, very excited about it.
Yeah, and it's not just that we can show, like here, you can see how we spot interferers in the UI, but it's also, you can see the interferers on the map after you've finished surveying. So it will detect the interferers, place them on the map, and then it will, even show their impact areas. And we'll take a quick look at that in a bit. So, and there's several interferers already there that it can detect. And the beautiful thing is we can train it further. So based on community input together with you guys, we will be training it even further. It's going to be so cool. So introducing, actually at this point, we have plenty of guests here tonight, and we are privileged to be accompanied by Keith and Fernay from Wireless LAN Pros. How are you guys?
I'm good. How are you, Fernay?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
What are you eating, Fernay?
That's papaya. That was in Bogota. That's as fresh as it gets.
Oh, that's cool, man. So, guys, you have been involved in the Ekahau beta program as Ekahau, certified survey engineer instructors, and it's really Keith's program, the whole thing. It's your creation. You've been involved with this product, Ekahau Pro 10, for longer than anybody else. What do you think of the kind of the daily use and the smoothness of the product and that kind of stuff? Anything that's struck you with the new version?
I think I have to go with what Jerry said. Once you use it, and we've been using it in beta on some live projects, but in class we go back to the 9X product, and it's very hard in class not to just like choke and say, "Oh, don't." So there is you definitely notice it. So that's very, very good that we'll be able to start using it now and in front of everyone. So I'm glad it's out of beta.
Nice.
I echo those words. Once you try it and then you go back to class, it's hard not to show the things we haven't been able to, but now it's kind of a big relief that we'll be able to share with the students all the coolness that we were kind of hiding from the class and all the benefits that we were not being able to show, but now we can.
So starting today, you will already be showing this tool in your courses and stuff like that, and then there will be a more major upgrade to the industry's favorite Wi-Fi training course later on, right? So but already today, you can see all the coolness of Pro 10, see what it's all about, and that kind of stuff. So how did you guys find the beta program? It was pretty long, right? And as it went gradually on, we started adding more and more people. And without spilling the beans too much, it concerned not just this product but other ones as well. How was the experience for you guys?
I would say eye-opening. I've done betas for the last 20 years. This was a very, very open beta with, I don't even know how many people were involved. And others found errors that I couldn't find because each of us use products our own way. And the way I continued to use it, I found very few errors. And then I'd go on the beta site and find, what? Something else. So then it was kind of allowing us to look onto your side, on the vendor side of what a beta process looks like, because we could see all of the issues that showed up and then try them out ourselves and see the results and follow along as your development team took the pieces that people found, fixed them, and came out with a new version. So enlightening is the word I'd use.
Yeah, and I guess it's wonderful that you guys allow us to do things with it and play with it before, because it's not like you released it and then we found issues. And you gave us the chance to scream like, no, don't remove that out of there, or add it or not add it. So it kind of gets to a maturity, but it's actually being tested by real professionals out in the field. And as Mr. Parsons said, others found things that I did not even know were useful or we could benefit from. So it has been great. It has been a great beta testing period.
Yeah, and well, thank you guys for beta testing, and thank you for being Ekahau trainers. So if you are interested in learning Wi-Fi and using our products, either one, probably both, then the Ekahau Certified Survey Engineer, along with the version 10 product, a pretty good choice right there. Thanks, Ferney and Keith. We'll get back to you later as well. So a couple of more things on the Ekahau Pro 10 side. We really not only did we rewrite, and by we I mean not me, but other people in the company who actually understand software development. So we rewrote not just the user interface, but also all the heat map calculation engine has been rewritten as well. And this shows up as performance. So you can see like faster updates, especially with survey data. If you have humongous projects with lots of survey data, it's just so much faster. You can see more consistent heat maps. You can see more logical behavior in the software. You can see faster predictive heat maps. It just makes a lot of more sense now when it comes to heat maps. There's an improved AP list that we will take a look quickly in the demo. And then there's remember how Ekahau Site Survey automatically places your access points after the surveys. It wasn't always dead on accurate unless you had done a boatload of site surveys. So we rewrote the algorithm that places the access points on the map, and now with less survey data, it does a more accurate job of placing the APs. And many of these features, for example, came from Keith and Ferney and the trainers. For example, the heat map behavior. We got some feedback, didn't we, Keith and Ferney, from you guys regarding like how the heat map should work and whether simulation, how we should combine simulation and measured data and all that, right?
Yes. Thanks for setting up the question. The answer is yes. We did exactly what you said.
Sorry about that. Okay, quick look at the Pro 10, and let's look at a few things. So we will look at the new user interface and the planning, and then the 802.11ax as well as the interference detection. So let's look at the interference detection first. Pop up the real-time frequency monitor, and what you can see here is show interference, and this means that are we detecting interference or not. And now if I have some kind of an interfering device here, I could fire it up, and I don't know if you can see it, maybe you can. It's just a small video camera, fire it up. It seems to be hurting my channel 1 right now. And then the tool shows, yeah, there's a video camera. And also on the real-time frequency monitor, we can see that, yeah, the closest access point to me is actually, for example, an 802.11ax AP that provides humongous data rates, actually. So not only does the tool detect the video camera, but it shows its amplitude and kind of the impact range in terms of frequency, how wide is the impact. Okay, this is all cool and you know, makes up for a nice demo, but the more useful part for the surveyors comes when there's actual surveyed data in there. So I'm just going to open up an example project, and here we can see a lot of the new user interface. You can see, for example, the AP list has been completely redone. We have now separated the AP name and the AP type and stuff like that. You can change the type of a simulated AP really easily. You couldn't do that before. So small things like that, but also beautiful heat maps, just absolutely beautiful behavior on the map. This probably doesn't show to you, but this is like 25 frames per second type of panning and zooming of the map and everything. It's just very, very smooth. The elements in the user interface zoom in and out as I go. It's just incredibly, a totally different experience user interface wise than before. But if we take out the access points from the map, you can see that there's something else on the map as well besides the access points. And those are the interferers that were placed on the map during the survey. And when you click on an interferer like this generic frequency hopper on 2.4 gigahertz, I can see its impact area by using the interferer's heat map. Or I want to see this 5 gigahertz video camera. There you go, that's the impact area. And of course, with the survey inspector, then I can go and inspect the area in more detail by just clicking that location. And yeah, there it is, actually right there. So that's kind of some of the highlights of the interference detection. And of course, if we are doing planning, the interference detection does not come into play, but 802.11ax certainly does. So what we'll do is we'll just open up a quick floor plan and look at planning for 802.11ax access points, for example. So we have a floor plan, we will change the layout, and then we'll map quickly the materials of the floor plan as usual. In here, we'll just take drywall, we'll take windows, and then we'll take doors and the elevator shaft. There we go. So this is just like before. Nothing new, nothing too different here. It's still the same awesome, what we call wall outlining wizard. Just brings in the floor plan, compresses the data, makes it simplified, still keeps the perfect wall structure for you. And then once we're done with the floor plan creation, you can see the walls zooming in and out as well beautifully, unlike before. When you're zoomed out more, the walls are thinner. When you're zoomed in more, the walls are thicker. Just works really, really nicely. So what I'm gonna do is go to the planning tab, select one of the 802.11ax access points here. And then just like before, we can also plan for the AX APs. And you can see the green color of the radios representing AX. And of course, it's dual radios, dual 5, 2.4 and 5, all that is supported. And then we can see the AX data rates. We can see all of the AX functionality in there as well. So that's AX. That's AX. I don't know if a lot of people are still deploying AX, but it's getting very, very close. The APs are already shipping. There was more announced just recently from different vendors. So we feel it's important, and I feel that we feel that the timing is really right for this.
Yusi, did you just place an access point in the hallway?
Yeah, man. Oh, did I? I indeed did. Maybe should I place a complementary one also here? But you know, sometimes actually, Ville, you have been introducing Ville Frank from Elisa ahead of time. I'll throw a curveball your way. So you have done hospital designs recently,
Yeah.
and there goes my sidekick, by the way. So you've done hospital designs recently, and you did some additional placements of APs also in the hallways, right? To optimize roaming, wasn't it?
To optimize roaming and also for monitoring only purposes. That's the second reason to put them on the hallway.
Exactly. So Ferne, how you feel badly about my hallway placement now?
No, I was just highlighting that you did pretty good according to his recommendation. We have different points of view, but hey,
Exactly.
it's all good.
All roads lead to Rome.
Exactly.
There's no, I guess, no one ultimate methodology. Okay, so thanks to the improved access point placement or access point finder or access point location determinator, the improved access point placement in Ekahau Site Survey 10, you can find APs, that are in different places, and we've all seen this, right? Whether they are hidden in the ceiling, hanging from the ceiling, behind the staircase, in the wiring closet, or inside the wall, or just placed outside. It just does a really good job at finding these. And I heard a story where APs that have been lost for 1.5, even 2 years have been found with this tool. So it's pretty accurate in that sense. Should we move on to Ekahau Sidekick then? We've already 20 minutes. Yeah, let's do that. So Sidekick, something happened during the course of last year, and Sidekick just became, and we're really thankful for our customers, it just became the kind of the industry standard Wi-Fi measurement device. And really, people have been using it very extensively for site survey spectrum analysis, and it's become like for large and small companies, it's pretty much the standard these days in terms of Wi-Fi deployment. And well, there's some obvious reasons to it, and not the least that it's works with Ekahau Site Survey, which is the leading software, but also it makes it support Mac OS. But not just that, it cuts, like what we found is it really cuts your on-site time thanks to the not just the battery life, but the dual Wi-Fi adapters, dual spectrum analyzers, and it just removes all the hassle and insecurity from the equation, and also has unbeatable measurement accuracy as well. And in terms of measurement accuracy, we probably should talk a little bit about that, right? So when it comes, and this is like pretty interesting. So when it comes to dB variation between dongles and Sidekick, there's a pretty big difference in terms of variance. So if we look at across different channels in 2.4 and 5 gigahertz spectrums, in different orientations that you recommend holding the devices, there's a substantial variation if you use the dongle adapter compared to the Sidekick. So that's just a dramatic difference right there. And here's kind of trying to illustrate what that translates to. If you deploy with Sidekick, you'll get the right number of APs after validation. But if you use, an inaccurate adapter, then you may run into situations where you over or under provision your APs at the site. So you want your measurement device to be as accurate as possible, and then in the thresholds set the variance of the client devices, because certainly client devices vary in their accuracy of RSSI, but your measurement device certainly should not. So to avoid, again, over provisioning or under provisioning, which leads into coverage holes, over provisioning leads into co-channel interference, put the right number of APs, and save money at the same time as well. If you over provision, you'll end up spending a lot more money, not just AP cost, but installation cost, more importantly as well. So, should we talk about what we've done for the Sidekick lately? Jerry's already excited about this new stuff, aren't you, Jerry?
I am super excited about it. Lots of new stuff to talk about.
Exactly. So what's going on here? 128 gigabyte storage unlocked. Jerry, what does this mean?
Yeah, so the Sidekicks that we've been shipping now for a good year and a half or so have actually had 128 gigs of onboard storage. We just haven't really had the software piece of it built to be able to leverage that built-in storage in the Sidekick. So yeah, that's gonna, as we kind of tease out this slide deck a little bit more, that'll tie into some of the other things that we're going to talk about here. But yeah, I mean, it's basically becomes a separate storage device now for your project files. Makes it easy when you're out in the field to be able to transfer those project files to maybe one user to another, or just for backup purposes, being able to have that in another physical location.
Yeah, man. It's like an enormous thumb drive, but seriously, because it's already connected to your laptop, it creates that secure place, in case. And dude, we get a lot of support tickets at Ekahau here, and a certain percentage of them are, my laptop died, my project, I didn't save my project file, is there anything you can do about it? And this would be the quick and easy answer. Every now and then, please also save the project to your Sidekick as well. And of course, the interference detection is there now thanks to the Sidekick. No other adapter using ESS can do that. And then of course the 802.11ax site service. And it's worth emphasizing that the Sidekicks that have been sold before as well also fully support all of this. So it's a free of charge software only upgrade. So this is just something where your investment is just magnified so much, it pays off. So if you just have your support contract valid, it's all yours there and ready to go. And I'm wondering if George Stefanik ever made it on the line. He said just last minute that he may not have.
Yeah, I don't think George made it.
All right, man. So instead of George, we'll continue with Ville and Eetu. What do you guys think of the whole Sidekick experience? You guys work for the largest MSP and telecom operator in Finland, and you've been using the Sidekick. You were among the first to kind of try it out. You were involved in the prototyping phase, and how's the experience been Sidekick-wise for you guys?
It's been extremely pleasant.
Yeah, and quite a trip to see from the first devices we got and to the product we have now, and product you all will see in 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, I came up with the slogan that it's a solid, it's a safe, and it's fun.
SSF as well.
SSF, exactly.
Solid, safe, and fun.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good statement. And you have surveyed dozens or hundreds of sites already with this, and you have
dozens at least. Yeah.
You have a pretty good-sized team of surveyors that goes about and does.
Yeah, I think we have something like 10 different people have been using that beta software
daily.
Exactly, and Sidekicks you have been using already for a good year, right?
Yeah.
You pretty much got them as soon as they were out.
Yeah, one of the first, I think.
Yeah.
Like in the first or second week, we got the Sidekicks, the first ones, and we have been getting more and more along the way.
That's really, really nice, and I'm happy to hear that it's been working out for you, and we'll talk more about the other stuff as we go as well. Thanks, guys, for backing up. Stefanik clearly owes you a ride in his Ferrari and a beer. All right. So we already did the demos for ESS and Sidekick. So we'll move on. So Jerry, Joel, should we talk a little bit about the dilemma of Wi-Fi engineers? Because thought that this is still it's still a topic that we should touch last minute, but we probably should. So isn't here like many of us still today, right? If you don't, especially if you don't have a Sidekick, the tools are a bit heavy and inconvenient and all that, and the whole it's not just that the Wi-Fi experts have had a lot of different tools for different purposes and the tools have been a bit heavy, but it's also, there's been a gap. There's been a gap between the IT administrators and the Wi-Fi experts. So whereas the Wi-Fi experts are overloaded with work, but they kind of have too many tools, stuff like that, then that leads into, okay, these are the expert tools, and then the IT admins are kind of left alone out of the Wi-Fi equation altogether. And this was kind of what we've been struggling with for the last few years, and how should we resolve this? And the other thing is that the Wi-Fi expert, like, we all know this feeling, don't we? So just Wi-Fi experts, because they are experts, they are needed everywhere. There's always a fire somewhere that needs to be put out. And then we're like, but maybe just design this one site really careful. No, you need to go and put out that fire, in the next state over or in the next country over. Not a lot of fun. And then at the same time, the IT administrator goes, well, I can help, but then I have no tools to help you. This has been the dilemma in the industry, and we looked at like how the whole evolution of Wi-Fi engineering has gone, and maybe there's something we could do about it. So it kind of started with spectrum analyzers and people writing, numbers on paper, maybe drawing paper maps of the coverage, things like that. This still happens, don't get me wrong, and it's still a valid method, maybe a bit extensive on the work side, but still a valid method. Then we moved into laptops and dongle adapters. It was a huge step forward in terms of like how much you got done, but it was still like laptops were a bit heavy. You needed a lot of adapters. Then we moved into Sidekick and laptops, 18 months ago. And finally, today, we're moving into something else, Ballet. So today we're introducing a product set or a product suite called Ekahau Connect. And Ekahau Pro and Ekahau Sidekick are a part of that portfolio, but there's more. So it's an all-in-one kind of product suite that enables you and enables everybody to collaborate for better Wi-Fi. And if we look at the solution components, this is where we come to what was previously blurred. We've already been shipping Ekahau Pro and Sidekick, and now they're a lot better than they were before. Sidekick, huge upgrades. Pro, just so much better in terms of usability. And then Ekahau Survey for iPad is what we're announcing. It's an iPad-based, obviously an iPad-based survey application and heat mapping application that works perfectly together with Ekahau Pro and the Sidekick. And the challenge has been throwing Joel under the bus. Joel, what do you think has been the main challenge with, why hasn't anybody come out with a survey, Wi-Fi survey tool for the iPad?
Well, the big problem with the iPad is
Joel,
around.
Video, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I have it turned off for reasons.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Hang in there. Don't worry. I'll turn the video back on in a bit. But the big reason why we haven't been able to survey on an iPad up until now is because for perfectly good reasons, iOS does not give us access to the Wi-Fi adapter on board the iPad for doing surveys. We just can't get the right type of data out of it. And there's perfectly valid reasons for that. But now the Sidekick enables us to get not only site survey data, but very accurate, very standardized site survey data into the iPad. And so it's been all about data, and the Sidekick completely removes that obstacle.
Exactly, and that's a really good point. The iPad hasn't been good for passive site surveys, but it's really good for active site surveys.
True.
However,
yeah,
right?
That's true.
Because it remains connected, it behaves exactly like the actual device does. It just can't produce signal strength readings from all the audible access points, which consequently is what Sidekick was built for. And then to tie this all together, we are announcing Ekahau Cloud, which is kind of the bridge between Ekahau Pro and Ekahau Survey for iPad. It's just a really convenient way to collaborate between engineers, between different devices. And of course, you're not tied to using cloud. If you don't want to use the cloud, there's 100% local collaboration available as well. We understand not everybody wants to go full on cloud right away, so you can use the Sidekick's hard drive both on the iPad and on the Pro, not missing any of the functionality. So it works perfectly with cloud or without. And then, Jerry, what else do we have? What have we gotten a beating on for the last 1.5 years, ever since we launched the Sidekick? You remember the CWNP conference like 1.5 years ago? Remember every show we've been to after that? What have people been, complaining about?
I think it's a natural connection. Anytime we talked about the hardware inside the Sidekick and how we've got these great Wi-Fi radios in there that are, support 3 spatial streams and all that kind of stuff for, great for Wi-Fi measurement. But then at the same time, it's like, well, why can't we capture packets then at the same time? So Ekahau Capture is the solution to that. So really since, we've launched the Sidekick, day one, pretty much the first time we talked about this thing, I remember getting hammered with questions about, can it do packet captures? And here we are 1.5 years later. The hardware has been there. We just had to get the software, getting the drivers, all that kind of stuff working for it. And we are now ready to launch that product as part of this whole new solution.
Exactly. And this wasn't, I think Mikko is probably on the line as well, but if I recall right, this wasn't originally planned to be a part of the initial Connect launch, but we had to add it in there. Isn't that right, Jerry? We just had to put it in because of the immersive, massive customer demand.
Yep.
So if we talk about the capabilities, it's still everything from planning to troubleshooting, but there's just so much more now. Obviously, the capture for troubleshooting is a game changer. For analysis, you can use either the iPad or the more fully featured Pro. For site surveys, you can still use the laptop if you prefer that. And we understand that many people still will continue with the laptop for one reason or the other. There's a lot of valid reasons to do that. But also like the iPad application in terms of form factor, weight, all that, it's just such a game changer. And if we talk about planning, it just becomes so much smoother, so much faster with the Pro 10. So the whole portfolio has been fine-tuned for that. Should we look at the survey application first? So it's really purpose-built for the iPad. It's a completely newly written tool. There's no old code anywhere in the application. It's all new. It's purpose-built for the iPad. We like to say it's the world's easiest professional Wi-Fi tool. It allows you to perform Wi-Fi site surveys, and of course you will get the same spectrum data, the same Wi-Fi data as you're using Sidekick as you do with a Pro. So it's measurement-wise, it's completely similar. For the active testing, we use the iPad radio, which gives you, really good client experience of the network. It's just really, really nice. And of course, these files are transferable between the Sidekick, Pro, and the cloud. So you can use the cloud to transfer the files, you can use the Sidekick to transfer the files, and you can read the files in Pro, and you can push files from Pro to the iPad application as well. As for what does it run on, we require an iPad that runs on iOS 12 plus, and then also the Ekahau Connect subscription, of course, is required for this. And we'll talk more about upgrading the subscription in a bit, and what are your options and stuff like that. But that's really what you need. Maybe we should touch on the required or recommended iPads. So I personally like the new USB-C iPad Pros, and that's what I recommend to people. A year older iPad Pro is fine, and this year's iPad Airs, which have 3 gigs of RAM and fast processors, they are also really, really good. You can try it out on any iPad you have that runs iOS 12, and you can use them for reasonable projects, but for serious heavy-duty work, we have a list of recommended devices on our website. And the benefits are just obvious, right? It's all-day battery life on the iPad is just amazing. It's so light to carry. This is another one of those, you have to see it to believe it kind of experiences. And it's so easy to learn. Like, you won't be able to teach people how to do proper site surveys, but you can teach people how to do basic data collection in like 60 seconds. So if you have an emergency and you have one kit of Sidekick and an iPad on the site, you can give it to a non-Wi-Fi experienced person, and they can get some emergency data for you for sure. And it's super convenient to use the touchscreen, just super fast response times. It just works. And again, this is available in the App Store. So if you go to the App Store and search it, it's there. Just search for Ekahau, and you will find the application there.
From an iPad.
From an iPad, exactly. What about an iPhone, Jerry?
It is an iPad-only app today, so that means that if you search for it from your phone, you won't see any results. So yeah, you need to search for it from the iPad.
Exactly. But again, any iPad 12, iOS 12 plus, it's all good to go. So, hey Joel, any chance for you to show some demos? Should we take a look at the iPad?
Yes, if I could find the unmute button, then yes. So, hey Jerry, can you do me a big favor? Set up a project file for me and send that over for me.
Yeah, so let's do a little scenario here. So I'm going to say I'm working the help desk here over at the corporate office. And let's say I'll go ahead and pull up Ekahau Pro here and share my screen. But yeah, let's say I got a call and we're having some users complaining about some Wi-Fi connectivity issues here. So I am going to share my screen. And let's go ahead and yeah, see how this would look in the real world. So let's see if me and Joel can collaborate on this issue and try and solve this user's problem. So I'm, hundreds of miles away in reality here. I'm in Wisconsin. Joel's all the way over in Boise, Idaho. And let's go ahead and, I'm getting some calls that are Boise, Idaho, from some users at our Boise, Idaho location, and they're complaining about some problems. So I'm going to go ahead and just create a quick project file here with the floor plan of that location. I'd probably normally already have this project file set up, but I just want to walk you guys through, kind of what this would look like. So I'll just grab a floor plan here. We're going to set the scale for it quick, and we're going to upload this to the cloud, right? So let's go ahead and set this, and we'll go ahead and push this to the cloud. So I just started a new project file in Ekahau Pro 10, and I'm gonna hit the Ekahau Cloud. I've already signed in. Normally to have your, get prompted for your username and password. And I'm gonna go ahead and upload this sample project for Joel. So I'm gonna hit Save to Cloud, and it's gonna automatically prompt me saying, hey, you haven't saved this project file locally yet. So it's gonna make sure, I cover myself. I've got the project file in 2 different locations. So we're just gonna say, we'll say Joel's demo project, so we can find that easily. And actually, you know what, Joel, before you go ahead and download that, I forgot, I'm going to add one more thing here, because you know what, I need to let you know where are these users having some problems, right? So we've got this new map note feature here, and I'm going to go ahead and place a note on the map here and say, hey, this is the room that the users were complaining of. They couldn't get connected to the Wi-Fi. So I'm just going to make a note of that. All right, so now you know where that complaint came from. So I'm going to push that change to the cloud, and since we've already got that locally here, I'm just going to tell it to overwrite that, and that way you've got all the latest changes. So now how do I get this over to Joel? So this is currently in my Ekahau Cloud account. So I'm going to go ahead and just open up a new window here, and we're going to log into Ekahau Cloud. And once we get logged in there, I should see my project files here that we've got access to. We can see Joel's demo project here. Currently, it's only shared with me, and you can see all the other projects in there. Now, I've shared some projects with Joel in the past, so it's already in my kind of favorites list here. So I'm just going to select in and say share that with Joel. Now, Joel should get a notification pretty quickly in his inbox saying, hey, somebody shared a project file with you. And Joel, what do you think? Cut over to you and see what that looks like on your end.
Yeah, let's do that. So you guys let me know if my audio isn't good enough. I'm going to try to speak up here so everybody can hear me, and we're going to try to do like a train wreck kind of demo here. So let's see what happens here. So here I am standing on site in Boise, Idaho, very, very far away from where Jerry is, and I've got my iPad here. And so I'm just going to swipe down on the list of projects to refresh that, and we can see it. There's a new project there called Joel's Demo Project. So I'm going to tap on that to synchronize it down to my iPad from Ekahau Cloud. So the setup is I've got my Sidekick on my hip, and I've got the Sidekick plugged into my iPad here. And you can see from this little indicator right here that the Sidekick is all connected, battery's good to go. So we're ready to start doing some surveying. So I'm gonna tap on the survey tab, and let's see, where's that note? There's the note right there. Let me tap on this note really quick to take a look at that. So I can see that Jerry said that, yeah, users are complaining about Wi-Fi connection issues, and that's probably where they're having trouble. So let's survey right there. So I'll switch over to survey mode, and I'm gonna go stand in the corner of this room. And even though I don't have to use the pencil, I could just use my fingers, but I'm gonna use the pencil because I really like it. So we're just gonna do a little stop and go survey here. So I'll just tap right there to take a data point, and I'll just stand there while we gather that data point. Okay, now we're ready to move. So now I will walk over to the other corner of the room, and we'll stand right there, and we'll tap right there to take another data point. And notice that all we really have to do is we just have to paint the map blue. We just have to get blue everywhere, and that's how we know for a basic user that we've got enough data points. This is something you can hand to just about anybody and just show them how to tap on a map. So let's take another data point here to get that one. And then let's go do another data point out in the hallway really quick. So we'll just go out here to the hallway real fast. And you know, you got to get these out in the hallway too, right? So we'll grab one in the hallway, let that run really quick. And then as I was walking out here though to the hallway, I noticed something. Actually, I found the client device that the users said they were having trouble with. And I think I want to grab a photo of that. So I'm going to switch back over to the view menu, and we could, the view screen, we could see that data that I've gathered now. But I'm actually going to tap on that note that Jerry left, and I'm going to take a photo of this. So I'm just going to add a fresh photo here. And I actually found the client device that they said that they were having trouble with. So I'll snap a photo, and we'll say legacy, legacy client. And then we will hit done, and then we will send that back up to the cloud and add that to the note. And so now that I've gathered all of that survey data, basically all that's left is to simply hit the back button, and now that is going to automatically synchronize with Ekahau Cloud. So now that's getting synchronized back up. But while it's working on that, let's take a look at another project file. So this is a project file that I've actually saved onto my Sidekick. So this one's not on the cloud at all. If you don't want to use the cloud, you don't have to. So, so here is signal strength for a project file. Let's take a look at secondary coverage. It's like, ooh, looks like we might have a few areas here where there are some secondary coverage problems. We can go look and see, here's all the previous surveys that were performed in this project file. And if we go back to the view mode, let's take a look at coverage from a couple of specific access points. So there's an AP right there, there's an AP right there, and there's an AP right there. But that project file is all done synchronizing. So Jerry, I think I can hand it back over to you over in Wisconsin to check out that project file.
Yeah, so I'll back up one step here. I'm just gonna, start with a clean slate here to show what that would look like. So let's say I reopen Ekahau and I want to pull in all those changes now that Joel did. If I hit that cloud icon, just like we did to upload it before, I can see that same project file, but now we can see the modified date and time. It was updated, literally less than a minute ago. So I'm going to say open from cloud, and now it's going to pull down all the great data that Joel collected for me all the way over in Boise, Idaho. And now I can dig into that data here. And yeah, sure enough, I see the survey data just like I would normally. Even though he collected this using the iPad, since he had the Sidekick connected, we're getting the same information that we would normally see. So we can look at things, like your data rates. We can look at things like the noise and interference. All that will be in here as well. And I can even drill down into those on the survey inspector side as well if we need to.
Hey, I have a question. Joel, can you show the app again? You were showing the actual production project, and there's a continuous, just to reiterate, there's a continuous survey option there as well, right? On the other file, you were showing that.
Yeah, so I totally did not show continuous surveys, but yeah, you can absolutely conduct a continuous survey. So for example, like in this big auditorium here, stop and go makes no sense here. I'd much rather do a continuous. And so the way that we do that is we tap and then we start walking. And then once we get down to the end of the aisle here, then, as we get there, as we turn, we'll just tap there and then we'll turn and go in the new direction and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's totally there. I just didn't show it earlier.
So it looks very similar to how it's done in ESS, just 1,000 times easier and smoother and lighter.
I wouldn't say 1,000 times easier. I'd say like 1,000,000 times easier, because now it's just, you know, you're holding a tablet and you know, you pinch to zoom in. You guys saw me using the pencil earlier. It's totally optional. You can just zoom in and just use your fingers if you want, but I like the pencil. I think it's nice.
It really is. It really is. Thank you guys so much for the demo. Really appreciate that. Should we get back to the slideshow?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Just trying to share my screen here.
And maybe while you're doing that, UC, for anybody that's wondering how we did this, this is the jankiest setup of all time, but UC actually suggested this. I have a 3D printed arm and then a webcam and then like a 10-foot USB cable. So if you're wondering how we did that, that's how. It's awful, but did it work? Tell us in the chat if that worked or not.
Exactly. And Joel, I just had to put this in here. So sorry about that, but this is literally what you said after you had done your first proper survey using the iPad, isn't it? And I wanted like unbiased feedback from a totally unbiased high-profile person.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no bias from me at all. Literally, my paycheck doesn't depend on me saying this at all. Wink, wink. But seriously, surveying with the iPad, this is like magic. I mean, this is a massive breakthrough in site surveying. To actually make the little cartoon guy with the potato on his shirt say the thing, like, seriously, I will never go back to surveying with a laptop. This has completely ruined laptop-based surveys for me. This is the new way to do surveys.
It really is. Then we have a couple of guys online as well who have been extensively using this for production purposes as well. First, meet Eetu and Ville again. How are you guys? Still working for the largest ISP in Finland, right?
Still working there.
Still dropping my utensils. So train wreck approaching.
Nice introduction.
Yeah. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, this webinar. So what do you guys think? You've done some hospitals. You've taken me also with you to help you guys out. You've taken many of our guys. You've done the largest trade shows in Finland with the iPad. How's the experience been?
It's been really nice to use the iPad, because when you try to do like a big trade show when there's lots of people, like a couple of thousand people, and you try to do it with a laptop, it just doesn't work. There's too many people, too crowded places, and then when you have the iPad on your hand, it's going to be really easy, because you can just shuffle through the people with the iPad. It's much easier, much more convenient to use.
You can almost use that as a weapon, like to smash people. It's better shape than the laptop, and it's more sturdy. Like it can withstand more beatings than a laptop. That's a good point. The whole safety thing. I don't think that really we didn't really get that when we were designing the whole thing. But apparently that's a pretty big deal for you guys.
It is. I mean, the guys like Eetu who does the surveys 5 days a week. It's not convenient or healthy to carry a heavy laptop 8 hours per day. And also from safety perspective, with the iPad, you can see the surroundings.
Yeah.
So raise your hand if you haven't stumbled at least once when you have done the survey with the laptop.
Absolutely. So you've done hospitals, you've done trade show floors, and then you've done the collaboration methods and all that. So it's and thanks for taking us to your sites as well, by the way. It was really helpful to have actual production sites with humongous amounts of APs and floors and stuff like that.
We can always use the free labor, right?
So that's what it's about.
I hope to find some more qualified, of No, you did well. You did well.
Yeah, for someone without any certificates. And then to another, to different people. Let's frame those guys out of the picture. Anyway, Joe Elliott from Milwaukee Tool. Pleasure to have you on board, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the.
Of course. So you've also been using the iPad, and we've been talking about this for almost like a year. I think we talked about it at Cisco Live last year, and you've been interfacing with Jerry already before that regarding the tool. So what about you guys? You have multiple sites, right? And you have different Wi-Fi skill sets at different sites with the personnel. What do you think?
Right. So we do have many sites. We have a lot of challenging sites and some sites where we just have mission critical wireless where we don't have a wireless engineer. I'm the wireless engineer for the entire company. We do have some other people that are well versed in wireless as well. However, at most of these sites, we have just a regular IT admin. And so I was lucky enough to have Jerry meet me on one of my sites, and we went through with a bunch of the IT admins how to use the iPad version of the product, and they absolutely loved it. They're currently using the laptop version. They ask me daily, when are we going to get this? We want this one instead.
That's so nice to hear, man. So you can enable these guys to collect the data, and then you can just do the troubleshooting, optimization work, that kind of stuff. And these guys can probably do even basic coverage analysis or things like that. Is that right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And then the great part about the Ekahau Cloud solution as well is I can go out, reach out to my systems integrator if I need extra manpower to help get these projects done in a timely manner. Copy them on the file at Ekahau Cloud, and they have complete access to what I have. There's not really the mangling of files that we used to have when we did this.
That's so cool. Sounds like you guys are using it to kind of the full extent of things. Really appreciate that, and it's nice to hear that the exact purpose we built the tool for really works for you full on. So thanks so much, Joe, for that, and yeah, stay on the line, man. Keith and Ferney, you guys still there? Have you guys been using the whole? Of course, you have been using the iPad and given us extensive feedback and the cloud and stuff like that. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Fernand. You go first.
Okay. I haven't used it too extensively, but I can see all the potential of being able to integrate it and allow multiple team members to cooperate in the same project in like very short periods of time. The little practicing that I've done with it, it has been tremendously, I'm impressed with the response that I got on the file that were uploaded and shared with other devices in my account, in my Connect account. And I just can see, these guys out there doing the large projects and benefiting from it.
I'm old school. I still like my laptop. I like my mouse. But I've seen lots and lots of people use tablets for a long time. And of all the tablet experiences I've had, the iPad's been the best. But my mouse isn't going away, nor is my Segway. What can I say?
Of course, keeping with the Segway, right? Okay, so that kind of leads us nicely into the whole cloud experience. So it's of course it's collaboration, but it's also like safe and secure storage for the files, and there's the full-on like local option as well as discussed, because some people may choose not to use the cloud for regulatory reasons, privacy reasons, that kind of stuff. And the whole cloud system is included also in the Ekahau Connect subscription. So pretty simple stuff. And I just had to drop this slide in here as well. So how many times, and this actually happened at one of the sites I was personally at. the laptop, so there was two of us surveying. I was basically ghosting or following closely the primary surveying at the hospital. And I was using an iPad. He was using the latest production release of ESS. His laptop died. He had not saved the file in 45 minutes. And I was like, yeah, he was like, my back's hurting. And now this whole laptop died. I lost 45 minutes of data. And I was like all refreshed and like, it's still on my iPad. I'll just send you the link. There you go. You know, pretty simple stuff. But that was just like an eye-opening moment for me. So even if you drop your iPad in a pit of molten lava, you know your files will still be safe in the cloud. Even if your iPad dies, you know, just take the next iPad, start surveying, and there you go. What do you think, Gerbile, of the whole thing? Cloud, iPad. How's the experience been from your perspective? You've been kind of overseeing the entire beta program.
I mean, it's okay, I guess. As if you know, were to quote Joel Crane, it's been awesome. Yeah, I've really enjoyed working with the beta testers. We have an awesome beta tester community, and yeah, I've been blown away by just the amount that they've been able to contribute and the testing that they've done, and the requests that that they've they just provided us a lot of direction, insight into what features we should be prioritizing for this kind of 1.0 release. We'll say there's obviously a lot of other things that they were able to provide insights for that are in the roadmap for future versions as well. But yeah, it's just been an awesome journey going through that and being able to be a part of that.
Yeah, actually, if it wasn't for you guys doing the beta testing, we would have actually released it without continuous survey. But we got like so much, we got slapped in the wrist so much.
Many mad people about that. No continuous survey.
They were physically like attacking our office, and they were on the barricades next to the Helsinki office, and people just went almost as crazy as they went about the Ekahau hats when they came out. So that's the kind of the challenges we had. If we real quickly, this might be self-evident, so we'll go through it quickly, but just how the collaboration works. So it's pretty straightforward with the cloud. On the right, you have the Pro, on the left, you have a survey and middle cloud. So you create a project with Ekahau Pro, typically that's the experts, and then you store the files in the cloud, and then either you as the expert or one of your subordinates or IT guys on site, whoever can conduct the surveys with a lightweight iPad. Of course, you still have the laptop option, like Keith, for example, still keeping his laptop. You're totally good to do that as well, only it works a ton better than before because of the improved UI and all that. And of course, there's the local option as well. If you want to cycle between Ekahau Pro and Ekahau Survey, you can just use the thumb drive called Sidekick to exchange the projects for that. So that's super easy. Again, 128 gigs of storage, so it serves as a really good local option. And then this is what was pretty cool. Thanks to you guys, we got to survey one of the main trade centers in Finland during one of the busiest shows that they have. So there was an enormous amount of traffic, enormous amount of APs that were simultaneously audible, and we had like, was it 8 surveyors surveying the trade show floor at the same time?
Yeah.
And we were done in record time with those surveys.
That was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then you guys were there before us, actually, at a huge IT show, weren't you? Eetu sent us like a boatload of feedback because it was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah, it was
the slush. The
yeah,
slush event early December.
Yeah.
It's like 20,000 people.
Exactly.
In the network at the same time. And
yeah.
Then that was the time we used it, like the first beta tests on iPad that we did in the real environment, and we did like 3 guys at the same time, different parts of the place, and we were walking, and we really realized that we didn't have to call each other and ask where had you been, because when we uploaded the file to the cloud, it downloaded everything everybody else had done to the same project.
Exactly.
So we got to see where everybody else was going and about where they were just going. So we could look at, okay, there's Mikko and there's there is Mika and I'm going to go there, and well, nobody's gone there yet, so I can go there, and you can feel the same place. And when I upload my files, everybody else sees where I'm going.
Exactly. It's a really like the upfront amount of work you need to do upfront, for example, and the amount of communication you need to be in the middle, and then the whole manual merging processes and all that.
Yeah.
That's all eliminated from.
And you can use the notes to send messages to people. Like if you're surveying the site and see something like from the IT admin's like perspective, something like there's a downed AP, or the AP's got like 50% utilization, so you can put a note there and put like the fastest person who's there go survey that site or that place on the site, and that's like easy like organize and direct people to do the site survey like more like.
Exactly, it's an event, so anything can happen. You cannot plan it beforehand.
That's true.
Too much, because it's important to see
what's happening there really.
Yeah, and where people has been surveying and what places we haven't surveyed.
Yeah.
I was using the notes tool to point out like really nice cars at the boat show. They also had car displays. They had really nice Mercedeses and all that. But
and you can have all the photos in the cloud. So
exactly.
If you break your iPad or your Sidekick, it's still there.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Just take the next device and there you go. And of course, there's the totally local option as well. Again, if you don't want to use the cloud, you can still use the merging functionality in ESS, and it totally works that way as well. We'll just use the integrated storage in the Sidekick. Wow, time flies. So it's time to introduce our next guests, I guess. I wonder if Jay and Peter are still on the line. Peter, are you there, man?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
How are you, man?
Yeah, good, thank you. Very good.
Thanks for joining in.
That's fine. Happy to be here.
And do we have Jay Botello on the line?
Yeah, I think I'm the gray-haired guy.
Probably. So, Peter, real quickly, what do you do, man?
What do I do? I am just drinking tea and eating biscuits all day because I'm British. So
this webinar isn't going anywhere.
I am. What I do, as I'm sure many people know on here, I do a lot of troubleshooting and analysis of people's networks. When wireless networks break, people often phone me to troubleshoot them.
So you essentially, if it's a really difficult problem nobody else can solve, then you fly on site and start capturing packets and analyzing packets.
Yeah.
And then you design and all that stuff as well. But you're really known as the packet analysis guy in the community.
That's right. But you do know that packet analysis is dead now, don't you? All you need is a dashboard with some meaningful statistic like airtime quality that nobody understands and a bit of AI, and it'll solve all your problems for you.
Okay, so we'll just skip this product.
Yeah, that's right.
That concludes the webinar. Thank you, everybody.
No, obviously, as a lot of people who know me will know, I think that's a lot of rubbish, but you will hear that a lot, that you don't need to capture the packets anymore. But what you'll find, and what I find in my work, and why I guess I still have a job, is that you'll get problems which can be solved by network management tools, dashboards, just doing a survey, and people have those problems for many months often, and then eventually the only way of fixing them is actually to get a packet capture and actually look at what's really happening on the network.
Exactly.
And it's a massively important part of any sort of network analysis, is being able to capture the packets.
But it's often, because it's such expert work, it's often seen as the very last resort. And I guess that's why Jay is here as well. So Jay, what do you do?
Well, I work for the company that produces OmniPeak. There's been a parade of names. We don't need to go through all the company names, but basically here to represent OmniPeak and packet capture, and to maybe go along with Peter's blasphemous remarks about packet capture and not being needed. I would not true at all. We certainly see it from the OmniPeak perspective, getting requests for new features all of the time. And I basically, wanted to come on because I was really anxious to try the packet capture with the Sidekick, and it is the instant it was put up on the beta side, I was downloading it and tested it, and the ease of use is just incredible. Even from our perspective, from OmniPeak, we're basically software guys. We've been dealing with that USB dongle thing for a long time, and earlier on, you were talking about comparing USB dongles for site survey, right, against the Sidekick, and the same thing is true in packet capture, right? USB devices are going to give you a certain level of accuracy, but nowhere near the accuracy that you're going to get from the Sidekick. It's a great tool for packet capture.
It's just quality radios, exactly. If we step back for a second here, like for those on the line that may not know what kind of problems packet analysis typically solve, it's the unique kind of problems that the dashboards and survey data may not be able to resolve. So things like older devices or kind of like Peter, you do a lot of warehouses, for example, and there's like these specialized barcode scanners, and I guess it's like they're not so high in volume, and they can behave in different ways, and the drivers are a bit customized. And then there's all these security settings and security things that may be off. But then what's common with all these things is usually they are fairly difficult problems. They don't happen all the time and not to everybody, but when they do, the results can be fairly catastrophic. Is that kind of a fair assessment of packet analysis?
Yeah, I think it is. And I think one of the key points you mentioned was that they don't happen all the time. So I'm sure a lot of people have been on site trying to troubleshoot problems, or they've even been on site where they've been asked to give an assessment of the current network. And it may be the first thing you do is you walk around and do a survey. And you're walking around with a Sidekick. And of course, people learn, oh, there's the Wi-Fi guy. He's here to fix our problems. You have it through a survey. Someone comes up to you and goes, hey, I'm having a problem right now. My device is off the network. Can you tell me what's happening? And from that user in a warehouse with a barcode scanner, or maybe in a factory with a device, and you go, oh, actually, I'm just serving at the moment. I'm not doing my packet capture. They don't understand that. You're the guy here to look at the Wi-Fi, and you just can't. I've been in sort of pharmaceutical factories where you have to get suited up to walk in certain parts of the factory. You have your hairnets on, and you're in, and then if there comes and well, I'm having a problem while you're serving, you'd be like, oh, okay, well, I've got to stop my survey, go back, get unsuited, go and get my capture dongles, come back. And then by the time you're back, they're not having a problem anymore, and the opportunity to capture the problem's gone away. So I guess from my point of view, where I think the Sidekick being able to capture packets really works is that time when having the idea of Sidekick has always been one. You only need one tool, and I like the idea of being able to just pause my survey. Okay, you have a problem. Let me capture your packets right here, right now, when the problem's occurring, and I've got everything I need. And I think that's going to be massively beneficial, because I don't know if people have tried to troubleshoot. The biggest problem is being able to do a packet capture when the problem's occurring, and you can guarantee if you wait till it occurs and then try and set up a capture, the opportunity's gone and you've missed the time. So you want to be able to do it quickly and effectively.
Yeah, I think
the problem happens.
Just building up on that, you hit the two main points. I think, like, first thing that we wanted to do is kind of separate the capture from the actual packet analysis, and that's the critical thing to do, right? Because a lot of people can do capture, but very few can do analysis, and we should, this is a dirty word, but utilize you guys who have the true expertise to troubleshoot packet analysis related problems more. The amount of time you're traveling and sitting on an airplane and doing all that kind of stuff, and like you said, putting on the bunny suit, it's away from the time you could actually be utilizing your true experience? I know you're really good at putting on a bunny suit as well. You're an expert at that as well.
The ears just look really good on me.
Yeah.
The bunny ears.
Exactly.
I've always suited a powerful ears and a fluffy tail. So, you know, but I think I've got 3 engineers here who do surveys for me, but they're not, as you said, they're not analysis experts. They don't know protocols yet. They're learning, and what they can do is capture packets for me and send them back to me. And yeah, that's massively useful if I don't need to be on site all the time, and I can just receive some PCAP files back and do the analysis here, and then, you know, have that collaborative experience with the on-site engineers. It's going to make life a lot easier.
Precisely. And speaking of PCAP, what do you think of that as a format, Jay? Like Ekahau Capture, as I'm sure you noticed, writes PCAP. So you could theoretically open that with different packet analyzers then. Because we don't do, just the distinction, we don't do packet analysis. We only do at Ekahau packet capture with the Sidekick.
Right, and certainly PCAP's the right way to go, right? I mean, that's what's standard. That's what people understand, whether it's PCAP NG. And you can open it up with OmniPeak. You can open up with Wireshark. Open it up with the tool of your choice. You know, I'm not here necessarily to advocate OmniPeak. There's the users that are using it, love it, and that's great. And those that aren't and want to continue to use Wireshark, Sidekick's great for all of that. It's going to get you the PCAP file that you need, right? And, you know, as you said, I think somewhere in the slides, the dual radio, even better, right? Because now you can do things like roaming and do some of that kind of testing. If you're trying to test a roam and you know what channel the client's going from and to, you can get that. It's capturing both channels simultaneously in the device, and you can get accurate measurements of roaming through your analysis software, whether you're using OmniPeak or Wireshark or whatever.
Exactly. The whole dual radio capabilities is pretty powerful. Roaming, you know, dual band APs, dual 5 gigahertz APs, that kind of stuff. And here we have introducing Jerry, the Gerbile Olla. How are you, man?
Quite the introduction. I feel like I need no introduction since I've already been on this webinar for a good hour now. But
you have? I'm so sorry, man. I forget our employees' names. I'm too important for that.
All right, so Ekahau Capture, yeah, just as Jay was talking about here, this is what, just to show you what he's talking about, I guess. We've got a Sidekick connected to my Windows device. Ekahau Capture is available today for both Windows and Mac OS. So this is basically the utility here. So this is your Ekahau Capture utility. You can see my Sidekick is connected. You can see my battery life remaining on my Sidekick. And yeah, now I can start to do some captures. So I'm talking to you guys over the Wi-Fi connection on the device that I'm connected to on. Normally, obviously, I wouldn't be able to do this if I was using my internal adapter to do the capture. One, my internal adapter wouldn't support this anyways, but if you had a device that did, you'd have to take that adapter offline. Now with the Sidekick connected, I can do a capture. You can see right now, this is set up to do a multi-channel capture using the 2 Wi-Fi radios in the Sidekick. So it's going to automatically kind of load balance those channels, if you will, across those, or distribute those channels across and scan those based on my dwell time that I have set in my options here. So right now, by default, 250 milliseconds. I can adjust it if I want. I can also specify a save location. For the purpose of this demo here, I'm going to actually toggle off the 2.4 band, because I've seen a couple questions in chat. You know, since we have 2 dual band radios in the Sidekick, what if I want to capture 2 5 gigahertz channels and simultaneously be capturing on those? So I'm going to go ahead and select 2 different channels. If I double click, it's just going to select 1 channel, but if I left click, it's going to select 2. Let's go ahead and select channel, we'll select channel 36 and 52, 2 different unibands there. So we're using both Wi-Fi radios in there. All I need to do is hit capture, and now we're capturing all the traffic going across channel 36 and channel 52 simultaneously. It's not hopping between those channels. We're listening on both of those channels, 2 different 5 gigahertz channels, and capturing all that traffic. When I'm ready to stop and want to analyze the traffic that I've captured, simply hit the stop button. Since I haven't specified an automatic save location yet, it's going to prompt me and ask me where I want to save the file. I can give the file a new name. Notice how it automatically gives a date and timestamp here. The timestamp is the time that I started the capture, so you have that reference already there as well. And now we've saved that to my folder on my desktop here. You can see I've got a couple here. I'm going to go ahead and pick the most recent one here. I'm just going to double click on that, and that's going to open the capture up here in OmniPeak, and we'll be able to analyze this. I could open this in Wireshark or any other packet analysis tools that support the PCAP format. But yeah, here we can see we've got all this awesome, dashboards and everything that we can dig through this. I can even get all the way into the individual packet layer information, and here you can see all those packets that I've captured. And if we scroll through the list here, you can see actually it looks like I only captured traffic on channel 36 because I don't have any APs that we're transmitting on the channel 52 that we're capturing on. But let's go ahead and just, drill down into one of those actual individual frames here, and we can see all that detailed level here on that packet.
And Jerry, there was a question on the platforms supported for this application.
So Windows and Mac OS today, any of those, Windows 7, 32-bit, 64-bit, and Mac OS, I think like 10.1 or 10.11 or newer.
All right, super cool. Thanks a lot, Jerry, for the demo. And Peter J, any last words on the capture stuff? What do you think?
Well, for me, you can't have too many options for ways to capture the packets, right? Because there really aren't very many options to begin with. So this one, it's a game changer in that way, right? It's an entirely new option. And one of the things that Jerry was saying is a great point, right? Because let's say you're trying to capture something from your own laptop. Well, even if you had a USB adapter attached there, sometimes it's a little close to what your own laptop is doing, even if it's not the one you're taking offline. This way, you've got a device that you can use that's more sensitive than a USB device to do these packet captures. For me, it's a game changer, and we'll be promoting it to people as a great alternative to the options that are out there today.
Yeah, I would just echo that really. I think having the more options available to capture packets, the more chance you've got of actually capturing a problem when it occurs, which is the key to troubleshooting, and the step that a lot of people don't manage to do is ever get a packet capture of the issue occurring. So the more options and places and we can get packets, the better. And this is it's a really good option, and it has so much more sensitivity than a USB adapter. So you're just going to get a much better quality capture, which is, as Jay said, it's a game changer, especially for sort of portable on-site analysis.
Absolutely. And then we'll get to bundling real quickly. Just really quickly first about the Ekahau Connect training. That this is actually an extra that we're throwing in to all of the Connect packages as well. Joel Crane, you wanna touch on this a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So the Ekahau Connect training, or as UC likes to call it, the Ekahau Connect crash course training, is, I forget exactly how long it is, but it's probably about an hour and a half of free content about how to use all this Ekahau Connect stuff. So there's a video about how to survey with iPad. There's a video about how to do packet captures with Ekahau Capture, and there's kind of a primer on how to do packet analysis in there, and a bunch of other stuff. So that'll be available for free with Ekahau Connect.
Excellent, and that's much needed, especially because you may be distributing the work between experts and beginners, and for anyone who purchases the tool like straight off the bat, it's really awesome. So should we talk about bundling and packaging? We have product manager Mr. Olla on the line, and we just might be lucky to have Mikko and Mikko on the line as well. So Jerry, you want to take this, or you want me to take this?
I can start it off. Correct me if I make any mistakes here, but yeah, let's talk through. So we've got a couple of different options here for if you're a new customer, you don't own Ekahau Pro or Ready today, you don't own a Sidekick. This is going to be your kind of complete solution. This is your all-in-one product suite for better Wi-Fi, if you will. So this would be what you'd need to purchase to get all the stuff that we've basically covered in the webinar today. You're going to get the Ekahau Pro tool, the Sidekick hardware, and then as part of the Connect subscription, you're going to get the Survey for iPad, the capture utility that I just demonstrated. You also get access to the Ekahau Cloud component, and that also includes your support and maintenance, as well as that training that Joel just mentioned.
Exactly, and entering the room, Jerry's boss, Dr.
Oh, now the pressure's on.
Hey, Jerry.
Mikko.
All right. So Jerry was just talking about this, and Mikko, you have a very special purpose in here. So
I have a role in this webinar.
Yeah. Talking about this is a really affordable bundle in a sense that you are saving $1,500 in this bundle. That's half the price of the Sidekick. That's some pretty. One more. That's some pretty incredible savings right there. But seriously, if you buy the Sidekick and the Connect bundle together, you get everything and you save $1.5K with a fanfare. Thank you, Mikko, for your contribution. Please stay on the line because we may go. If Jerry's internet connection goes off, then we'll be in deep trouble with this stuff.
Jerry, Mario says that was so 1995. We just took him back a little ways.
A little bit. 3.1, baby. 3.1. What about this guy? If you don't own a Sidekick yet, but you already have ESS.
Yeah. So if you've already got Ekahau Pro, but you haven't upgraded to the Ekahau Sidekick yet, we've got options for that as well. So first thing we need to do is get you upgraded on the hardware side to the Sidekick so you can take advantage of all the goodness that we talked about in the Connect subscription. So you're looking at 2 different SKUs there, and that'll also get you up to date on the support and maintenance side as well.
Very cool, very cool. So that's that, and then of course Ekahau Pro is required for that, and then we have one more special option for the existing customers. So Jerry, you want to go through this as well?
Yeah. So hopefully this will be more for our many of you on the audience still. So we've got the for existing customers, how do we get upgraded to this, the new offerings here on the Ekahau Connect side? So basically get you up to the Ekahau Connect solution. So if you already own Ekahau Pro, you already have Sidekick, all we need to do is get you converted from your traditional kind of support and maintenance that we've been on for many years and get that updated to the new Ekahau Connect subscription, which includes the support and maintenance.
Exactly. And the key thing here, I guess, is again, enter Mikko Lauronen, the price, which is only $299, and flash that a couple of times. So that's actually really, really affordable. So just in a nutshell, if you have a Sidekick, if you have an ESS with a valid support contract, thank you, Mikko. He's waving us bye-bye. Thank you for making the products. You're way too humble, man. If you already have a Sidekick ESS with the existing support contract, then upgrading to Connect is $299, and you'll be left with your existing support contract, right? And then there's some other options, Jerry, as well, right? The plus 12 months thing. You want to talk about that as well? I don't think I have a slide about it, but you want to quickly touch on that.
Oh, yeah. So if you want to basically there's a couple different upgrade options, what UC's talking about. The other upgrade option is instead of converting your existing support and paying the $299 to convert what's left in your support and maintenance, you can also pay for another year of support and maintenance, pay for a year upfront of Ekahau Connect, and we will basically retroactivate your support and maintenance to be now Connect activated. So that's another way that you can convert your support and maintenance. So you can kind of weigh your options there as far as what you want to pay for. If you want to just pay the $299 small price tag now, or if you pay the full year of support or of Ekahau Connect, we'll upgrade what's left on your support and maintenance.
So if you have, for example, 8 months left in your current support contract and you get the plus 12 option, how does it work again?
And that would be $13.89 for a year of Ekahau Connect subscription. So you could pay that $13.89. Let's say you have 8 months left, 6 months left on your support and maintenance contract. We will upgrade that 6 months, 8 months that you have remaining to now be Connect activated. And now you have your next year of Ekahau Connect paid for already as well.
Okay, so you got let's say 8 plus 12 months for the price of 12 months. That's pretty cool, man. Okay, we actually have pretty well used the entire 90 minutes. Not what we planned. Sorry about that. And many of you probably planned for 60. We do apologize for that. Thank you for staying in. Just in summary. what did we learn today? So we learned that yesterday we had Ekahau Site Survey and Sidekick. Now we have a 428% better Ekahau Pro 10. We have a boosted Sidekick storage, interference detection, AX, you name it. We have the survey for iPad, which is totally compatible with the Pro and the Sidekick. It's the world's most easiest, fastest survey tool. We announced Ekahau Capture. We announced Ekahau Cloud collaboration with the optional local mode. What did we miss? Silence.
What more can we do?
Yeah, man, and the training as well. So awesome training courses to get you guys going with the new product. The question is, where do I buy? How do I buy? Gerbil, what do I got to do to get this goodness now? Online.
Well, if you got cash, come talk to me.
Tax free, baby.
Yeah, ekahau.com is obviously always a great landing page for that. But yeah, we've got a direct page for Ekahau Connect to find out more information about this as well. If you go to ekahau.com/connect, that will take you to our direct landing page for the new stuff that we've been talking about.
And in general, your local Ekahau representative will already be very well versed with this. They have had time to get familiar with it. There's the online store as well. Wealth of different options to choose from. But our website has been all refreshed, all updated. It has a really nice look and feel. You should really go there now. And of course, all of us, we're on Twitter. You have our email addresses probably as well. And yeah, come find us, send us emails, contact us through the webpage. What else? One final mention is Keith Parsons still on the line. We should probably quickly still talk about the Ekahau Certified Survey Engineer course and the fact that we have trained over 4,000 Wi-Fi engineers. And yeah, Eetu and Ville, for example, and Joe as well. You guys have went through, and Peter. Peter is actually a trainer. Ferne is a trainer. What do you guys think as students, Joe, Ville, and Eetu? What do you think of the course, the Ekahau Certified Survey Engineer training course that you went through?
Well, I had done like
be kind.
Like 1.5 years of surveying with Ekahau before I went to the course. I thought that, well, there's not too many things that can be like new things, but I was surprised how many new things I got there and how many things I have been using later after the course, what I learned there on my daily job, doing the like surveys and analyzing and doing the 3D simulations. It was like eye-opening course.
Yeah. What did you think of the trainer, Ville?
You have amazing trainers, obviously. They're very experienced and they can teach a lot, as Eetu already witnessed here.
Yeah. Joe, you have your ECSE as well, right?
Yes, I do. It's probably been the best training I've ever taken. From a practical standpoint, it kind of starts putting some of the puzzle pieces together from what you learn in certification training and then actually applying it. So that is my long-term goal now, is to actually become an ECSE trainer.
Nice. And Keith, for you, like setting up the whole curriculum in the beginning with just one tool and a dongle to where it is today, and kind of like after teaching, you maybe taught like maybe 1,000 of these 4,000 students. What have been the key things that you've learned as a trainer?
That there's a lot of feedback between the students, the instructors, and Nico's team. And as we go year after year, we keep getting the things we ask for are showing up in the product. So we keep adding more. And then Nico goes and adds all these things, and we have to still fit it in 3 and 4 day class. So thanks, Nico.
That's well said. Peter, Mr. Mackenzie, you as an ECSE trainer, you've been training these courses for what, year and a half, something like that?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, about 1.5 years. So from my point of view, I love teaching the class. I teach a lot of different classes, but I think that, as was alluded to by some of the students, that the great thing about the ECSE class is I think every time you teach it, you see there's lots of light bulb moments with students who have been maybe even using the product for many years, and then they're like, oh, that's how we should have been designing, is it? And I love those moments because I think it just makes for ultimately better Wi-Fi designs. So I think it's a real benefit to the entire industry. I've always been a big believer that if you're going to be do a job, and then engineers, they need good tools, but they also need good training on how to use the tool. You can't have one or the other. I've seen people who they get lots of training, but they don't have the tools, so they do a bad job, or they've got the tools and they don't have the training. And I think it's, if you can get both, and I think what the ECSE class does is really does that really well. It doesn't just teach how to use the tool, it teaches how to design using the tool. And that's the key, I think, to the ECSE class.
I would agree with that, and it's very much a global class as well. Ferney, you are this week teaching in Copenhagen. Last week you were in Barcelona. You're out of Bogota, Colombia, now in Salt Lake City. But you also done a lot of Latin American courses. How's the whole global experience been for you as a trainer who's been training this for years and years?
Teaching it in both English and Spanish. It's been quite enlightening, and it's amazing how much we learn from our students. The experience is just amazing. These guys are out there in the trenches. As Peter said, many of them have the tools. Many of them have been using Ekahau for years, but they don't know some of the things that are kind of hidden for some areas. But then the experience is as global as the training is. And I think part of the success of this training program that Mr. Parsons has put together for many years is that all of us trainers come from the field. We've been out there battling fights that all of these guys are facing right now. And it has allowed us to share with them, our true knowledge about Wi-Fi and how it works. And I think the learning is just tremendous. And as Mr. Parsons said, we have so much. We don't have enough in 4 days to cover everything, but we're doing the best that we can. And of course, now with this announcement, we're going to have to be modifying our materials, and we're working on that to provide just the best training a professional can get out there.
It's such an outstanding course. Hey, Nick Turner, is Nick Turner still on the line with his pretentious painting in the background? Because Nick has been super active on the chat throughout the show. Thank you so much for that. Nick, any takeaways from the chat?
Oh, lots. Hang on.
Echo.
Sorry.
Don't worry about it, man. You're good.
I do apologize. There has been a lot of good chat, so thank you very much to everybody who has been throwing out feature requests and comments in here. I don't think there's anything. I think that, there were peaks and troughs where one question would crop up and then that would be answered during the chat. So
what was the quirkiest question you were asked? Not to throw you under the bus or anything.
Yeah. Ooh.
Or should we just talk about the upcoming feature portal for those that we're still still stayed on the line?
Very happy to do that. Yes. So there are a number of ways for you guys to share feature requests with us. You can still do it via the email link. You can either email support, but if you want to test out our new system, you can head over to ekahau.uservoice.com, and I'll put that in the chat. It's not 100% up and running yet, so let's see if we can break it. But yeah, we're going to test out something new for trying to capture all of this feedback from you guys, because you guys are the guys using our tools. You can tell us what bits you like, what bits you dislike, and what you'd like us to tweak. So please keep up the great work.
And Nick, if you had to name your favorite feature in the Ekahau toolkit, what would that be?
I'm a very big fan of the report engine.
So who should people who really like the customizable reports, who should they talk to?
They should ping me with queries and feature requests regarding report templates. Absolutely. Get in touch. My email address is nick@ekahau.com.
And always CC in any email you send, CC Mikko@ekahau.com, because he loves email.
More emails, the better.
Oh, Mikko is still on the line. I thought, I saw you leave, man. I saw you leave. I thought you physically left the office. I thought I was safe. Anyway, with that, Elisa, guys, thank you so much for joining. Any closing words from your side? I know we're running over, but you know, those are that stayed on.
Well, after using the iPads, I'm not going back. I'm doing exactly as Joel is doing, and I'm not using the computer for surveying anymore. I just got today my iPad Pro, the new one, and that's going to be the tool I'm going to be using for the future.
Excellent. Now, please accept this bribe, testimonial bribe of love strawberry and cream lakritz, the Finnish licorice. Well, what about you, Ville, as head of the team and triple CCI freaking E?
I second that. There's no going back to laptop anymore. And you guys at Ekahau, keep on good work.
Thanks, man. Thanks, really appreciate that. These guys, like, okay, Mikko was here just to press the fanfare button, but
it wasn't important.
It was an important function for sure. But we, you know, I'm just the talking head here. It's Nick and it's Jerry, and it's these guys that make the product happen together with the R&D team, the product management team, and especially with the customers and Ekahau Masters and the beta group and everything. So it's been a pretty awesome ride. Joe, thank you for joining, man. Mr. Elliott, thanks so much, man. Any final words?
I'm just gonna echo what the other guys said. I'm no longer using the computer to do a site survey anymore. It's just been amazing. I'm really happy with all the innovation you guys have brought to the product, allowing us to be able to scale and be a little bit more agile with it in our environment. So thank you and good work, guys.
Thanks so much, man. Thanks for coming as well, and thanks for reaching out to us. You know, at the trade shows and stuff. Really appreciate that. Okay, Jerry, Joel, you guys want to close this out or do a post-webinar banter?
I think we should probably close it out and let everyone get on with their days and their weeks.
With their lives.
Nobody wants to listen to us talk anymore.
Yeah, I can see the number of participants drop.
Yeah, it's like so
980, 960. Anyway, yeah. Any closing thoughts from your side? You've been, you know, watching this very closely.
Just super excited to get this product released. Really appreciative of the entire research and development team. You know, our marketing team out in Reston working on getting all their materials put together for this. It's just been a really great effort on the behalf of the entire company. I also want to say thanks to all of our customers for being such great customers and for being so involved with beta testing and things like that. So
exactly, and that's a good point. Like marketing team, sales team, the new website. I think what they did with that, you know, Hanley, Sandra, Konstantin, Danielle, all the you know, outsourced parties. It's just
fantastic.
Really good. You guys really should go take a look at that. There's been a lot of hard work put into that, and
especially the little Joels with the little potatoes on their shirts. That's my favorite part. So yeah,
thanks, two of us, Joel.
Cool. Well, yeah, we should probably go ahead and close this one out. So
Jeremiah, you want to close this down?
Yeah, I'll close with, just echoing kind of what Joel said, but yeah, huge thank you to the beta testers and all the attendees on here. You know, this is really what drives us on the product side, and just really throughout the company, right? I mean, it's pretty awesome to see this, you know, just the community that's here, and you know, being able to listen to your guys' feedback and take that and actually build that into something is, you know, really what gets me up in the morning. So it's awesome to see all this feedback and stuff, and everybody joining the webinar to come launch this new product, this new solution with us. So thank you.
Thanks so much, guys.
Oh, and
All
one
right.
last thing, if you want a copy of the webinar, this should be, are we posting this to the webinars page? I'm pretty sure we will, right?
I'm sure we will.
Okay, so this will
clean it up a little bit first.
Yeah, so this will be posted to ekahau.com/webinars. Hanalei just said yes, so yes, it will get posted. So thanks for being here, everybody. We really appreciate it, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.
All right.
Thanks, guys. All right.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.